Welcome to the wonderful world of dance, bringing you exclusive interviews with top dancers and choreographers and reviews of the world's best companies across the globe. You can find lots more on our website at thewonderfulworldofdance.com.
Hi, this is Savannah Saunders from The Wonderful World of Dance, and today I'm so excited to be talking with Jon Vallejo, whose name I'm sure I haven't pronounced properly, who is the principal dancer of Semperoper Ballett. And he's coming to London with a company to perform 3 works by William Forsythe in a triple bill at Sadler's Wells. So, hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
Hi. Now, please pronounce your name properly for all of our listeners, because I think I did a terrible job then.
Yeah, that was quite good. Well, Jon Vallejo.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you're actually originally from Spain. Is that right?
Yep.
So tell me about where you grew up and what made you get involved in dance in the first place.
So I grew up in San Sebastian, Basque Country, North Spain. And I quite started, in early times, I think around 3 years old. And of course, it wasn't my choice. It was my mom's, who loved ballet, and she was taking some classes, and then I was of these kind of kids. I was just doing thousands of extra activities after school. Yeah, so one of those, it was ballet from really, really early times. It was a certain point that it was becoming a little bit more serious, and then I have to choose, and we made the choice. Moved to Madrid for a proper education there. And from there on, just career slowly start to pop one way, the other way, yeah.
And was there any point where you thought what was the point where you thought this is something that I want to do as a career, as a profession?
I mean, there was not a specific time or day or a situation. I think it was just a matter of facts happening in life that slowly put me there, and it didn't really disturb me to do them. So I think that's why in the end I was like, that's what I'm doing. It's not okay, I will do that, or I will decide to do that or that. It just suddenly it happened. I was just doing that, and I was enjoying them.
And do you remember the first, because you grew up in, as you say, San Sebastian, do you remember the first time you encountered dance, or did you see a show locally? What sort of what gave you the inspiration?
We went to see a few shows there. Of course, in Spain, there is not a lot of stuff is coming there, but we took good companies. At the time, it was Nacho's company, it was emerging. Russian ballet was coming, yeah. But I don't remember any show that I was like, oh yeah, that's the point, a turning point that, I want to be a dancer. Not at all. I have to say I'm a person quite hard to be impressed. I mean, it's not taken wrong. I really enjoy a lot of people dancing, but I don't have a specific dancer that I'm following, or a specific type of dance, or I'm quite open for that. So I don't have this turning point of I watched this show or this dancer and I want to do that. No, it was just happening slowly.
So in this sort of natural evolution, you moved to Madrid, and where did you train in Madrid?
I was training with Carmen Roche. She was the wife from Victor Yate, so it's this kind of same training. Quite a good training, I have to say. And then from there, she was having a small company, let's say a young company, which suddenly I find myself at 16 working with great choreographers. Her talent was, she was a fantastic teacher, but at the same time, she could bring an extraordinary choreographers. So finding myself 16 years old, having work basically, have the possibility to work all these choreographers, travel around, these kind of buses from here to there, perform every night, wow. 16, 17 hours of bus, which was one of the best experiences. In terms of friendship, which is called a company. Everybody work in a company, even we forgot sometimes, yeah. but that's why it's called company. So I really have this period of time as a really strong company team, and having the possibility to perform all these fantastic works from, I don't know, Tony Fabre to pieces from Nacho, from people from NDT, from people from Forsythe. So it was quite I find myself doing Romeo when I was 16, so it was kind of a great beginning, let's say.
That is quite an incredible beginning, as you say. You're 16 and you're exposed to this incredible range of acclaimed choreographers. It's quite astounding to hear that, actually.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. And how do you think that sort of shapes you as a dancer and as a person, and your expectations for what was to come next in your career?
I mean, not because that happened, I was expecting to just go from their own. That was kind of, it was real, but I was not just taking it as, okay, from there on, I'm just going to go on and on and on. It just happened to be like that for a couple of years. And after that, it was just, somehow something that I put in my rucksack. And then after years, you can, I always have it with me. So I can always use it, or I don't make sense. But
so sort of being able to draw on that experience and take it with you into your life.
It was a huge experience,
Yeah. And so what happened after, this period of time that you...
So from there, I auditioned for Nacho's company, Nacho Duato. Mm-hmm. I was there for 1 year. And there, at the same time, I met Aaron, which is our former director at the moment. That's probably, 14, 15 years ago. And then he just told me that he was having this opening this company, taking actually the directionship. And I came here, I auditioned for it, got the job. And I don't know, I just moved to Dresden with a hand luggage and basically a television that I bought at the time. It was a flat, my first flat television that I earned with money. And I was like, okay, I need to travel. So I didn't know anything about Dresden. But then I found out later in life that every decision that I make, if I have to think twice, I'm just gonna stick to the first choice. So I can go around and, I'm in the company now for... next year will be my 13th season, which is quite a long time.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been through up and downs and ups, and it goes like that. And many times I was thinking, maybe I have to leave, I have to change, I have to. But I think it's just part of the journey. You need to fight for it, and I never have the thought or the straight thought, okay, I will just leave the company. I always think twice, 3, 4 times, and in the end, my choice was to stay here. Yeah. So I always have to remain for my first choice. I don't know if it's right and correct in English.
Yeah. So I think it sounds like you're quite decisive, and then even if you give consideration to alternatives, you always seem to come back to that original thought, that original feeling.
Yeah, I'm quite impulsive.
Quite impulsive.
Yeah, as well as my dancing or the way I approach dancing. I need to have those strong feelings. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Yeah.
And tell me about those strong feelings and about that impulsiveness. How does that sort of translate into how you approach dance and how you approach the stage and your performances?
Well, I believe what I do is meant to change someone and change myself. So if I'm not following my impulses, then it's just very complicated. You cannot program those things. We perform, and people go to theater to be touched in a way, not touched by watching something extraordinary. It's just much more. It comes from the soul, I believe.
Yeah.
And the same way goes the other way around. I need to be, one of the greatest feeling of dancing or performing is just the emptiness after. If you reach this point, personally, if I reach this point of emptiness, it's success. Then I just leave everything out. I can refill myself with something new. And it's sort of a way back and forth between audience and you.
And do you feel that emptiness every time that you come off the stage, or is this about a new role, or when does that happen for you?
Well, of course, it doesn't happen every night, even though I try. I mean, most of the time, let's say if you put it in a range of percentage, to reach 100% is always, dancers, and it's like, this didn't go quite well, or this didn't go quite well, but it's, I don't know, it's just a small parts of the whole performance experience. Of course, you need to have a great technique to be able to just leave it, don't think about it, and add layers on top, yeah? So, of course, I don't experience this emptiness every night or in the same way, let's say. I do experience it, but not in the same way. Yeah.
So you're coming to London. Tell us about the triple bill that you're performing over here.
So it's kind of, 3 masters was from Forsythe. First one is In the Middle, created for Paris Opera, I believe.
That is one of my favorite pieces.
89, yeah, something like that, 1989.
Yeah.
Which we've been performing here for now 12 years. I did. Of course, the company in 12 years changed a lot, so the cast it changed a lot. But even though we perform it for such a long time, there is always a new approach, there is dancers coming in, going out, which bring new things, new energies, a lot of new things. So quite a changing piece in a way. It's kind of old, which, I don't know, if you see it from the outside, I don't find it old at all. It's something that is always, quite adapting to the era, not somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we just worked recently again with Forsythe last week, which is very attached to us somehow with the company, and is always trying to give us, just forget that, go there, change this, go, make it live, make it fresh every time. Otherwise, it will be boring for us, for the audience. It's kind of hard. It's a piece that is being danced for I don't know how many companies in the world. Most of them.
Yeah.
So we want to make it our way. We want to make it give our signature to it, no?
And what do you think that signature is? How do you make it your own?
I believe we have really strong group of people here, of personalities, and which they will bring that for sure. And at the same time, we have quite a strong connection with Forsythe, so that means we work with him a lot of times, which gives you another, not a better or a worse one. It's just a different understanding of his work, or at least you have a better range of perspective of his work, by working with a person more often. Yeah.
And what's that process like working with him in the studio? How does that work?
Well, it's always fun. It's someone very, hard to work with in terms of, exactly what he wants to bring this time on the stage. He knows exactly where we're going. So we're going to Sanders Wells. He knows where audience will be expecting. He knows where he wants to present it for this audience. It's not the same as if we go to Paris Opera, and so this is fun for us as well to change. It's not that it's changing a lot, but it's just about bringing something new for yourself and for the audience. And otherwise, it could be boring to perform this piece for 12 years and again and again and the same and repeating yourself. So he brings this freshness all the time to the work when you have him in the studio. I mean, we have great ballet masters, very connected to him, to his work, very at the, how you say, at the, with the latest information, everything you can get. But when you have him, it gives this extra thing. Plus, it's fun to work with him. Yeah.
Well, it must be quite an incredible experience to have such that time with him. It must be.
What I find great, I mean, as I say, I'm for 12 years now, a complete 12 years with the company. And he came here since the first time. Actually, our first program, it was in the middle, was one of the pieces. So I've been working with him for a long time of period. And what I like from him is I never met the same Forsythe, same Will all the time. Is every time he comes, of course, his life goes on as well. And he approaches differently his work, his way of presenting his work, his message for in dance, no? And he brings this to us. Yeah.
And what aside from the sort of the tweaks or the changes that have been made to made for the pieces for Sadler's specifically, what else? What has he brought differently this time to your previous work with him, to these pieces?
I mean, what we have worked with him in 3 different pieces. So for each of them is very specific. I don't know. We bring in as well Enemy, for example, which is based a lot in improvisations. Yeah, there's a lot of impro dancing. So for that, I don't know. It just brought totally different ideas. We sort of went as well a lot to the basics of improving, of studying improvisation technologies, basically, of techniques, and so go basically to the basics, yeah, which allows you as well to rethink, refresh, and take it in someone else, some other place, yeah. Not just go to your comfort zone, let's say. You just break this thing out. And then the middle, for middle, I mean, I'm not dancing middle in Sundance Wells. I do the other 2 pieces. I've been watching rehearsals and involved with them, but in those rehearsals. But I will say he was just bringing back a little bit at the moment the classicisms of the piece. And basically, I remember one phrase that he says, one of the first days, he was, if you present to the audience that you can do that, and then, you know, you can every time you can move and oh wow, yeah, but after 5 minutes you're bored. I mean, you will get bored of dancing and watching. So he was just basically saying to us, go from the pieces made like that, from really strict classicism to slowly breaking it to where it became middle. So I think he really brought it to the very beginning. And yeah, you know, you suddenly can read, okay, well, I recognize this step, and then suddenly this step is just broken into something else. But you can recognize it because I showed it to you before in a different way. Not just, you know, I'm cool, I'm dancing Forsythe. I think in those 3 pieces go to the roots of his work, yeah, in totally different ways, yeah.
And it sounds obviously like you really enjoy dancing his work.
Yeah, I enjoy him.
And what does it feel like to dance his work? What does it feel like to perform it? What do you personally take from his work?
Well, it's a challenge. It's a personal challenge. It's always someone challenging you, and I would say that it's quite challenging you musically, physically, and artistically. Those 3 ways, the most important ones. I mean, yeah.
You couldn't ask for more, then, can you really? as an artist and as a dancer.
No.
And when you're in London, what are you looking forward to the most? How long are you here for?
I don't really know. I think we are there for... I mean, we have 3 performances. I'm just going to do something else before some performances. Then I fly to London, and then I go back to somewhere else to do another performances. So it's kind of a lot of things at the moment. But I think we are 4 or 5 days in London. I just look forward to be arrive to London and focus in London. Sometimes it's funny. You are with a lot of work with this and this and this and this, and then you just need to be at the time and in the place to enjoy this moment. No, now we're working a lot in London. I'm working a lot in different things, but I just looking forward to be for that. Yeah.
To be in the moment.
To be in the moment, yeah. To perform, yeah, basically.
You mentioned before that having been with the company 12 years, coming into your 13th season, that there's been ups and downs. That's natural for any long-term endeavor. Yeah. Can you tell us about some of the highlights in your career that you've had so far, or moments that have been remarkable or special to you? Tough question.
I mean, well, not tough. It's just there's been a lot. I don't know if I would say something to that. Is I have many great moments and many bad moments, but neither I believe I don't get too excited when I'm feeling great, and I don't get too excited or too depressive when I'm down. It's not true. None of those high and low points. I don't believe that they're the true of it. It's just you need to go through those to find the middle line all the time. Very necessary to touch high and low points. But I went through so many. Like in one season, I experienced great things, great performances, bad performances. Not meaning that bad performances can be it's not a bad thing as well. It's just it's live performance. I don't know. I just been through so many ups and downs, so I cannot say, okay, that was a great moment. That was a really bad moment. I cannot. Yeah. I don't have those. It's just in a year I go through a lot of those. Of course, there is years that you go through, when there's injuries and you need to go through that. And I will say for us, it's just it's just mentally you need to be very strong, and you always feel when you are in the worst moment you think you can be, and you go through that, and it just makes you a little bit stronger. And it's just about that all the time. I find it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would say something in those 12 years, worst moments for me was injuries. Yeah, I have to say.
Tell us about the injuries.
Well, I went through a lot, hard ones. I just broke my foot twice.
Goodness.
5 metatarsals. Yeah. And
how did you do that?
Well, first time it was quite funny. I was just doing the dead of Mercutio, so not really dancing. It's just a stupid step. Broke my foot. Yeah.
Goodness.
First time. Actually, first time I broke it, it was kind of okay mentally. Every time you're working, you don't find time to relax your mind. You're always thinking you need to do this and this and this and this. First time I find myself injured that way, I was, okay, I don't have anything to do. I cannot work properly. So I will just take time for myself. So I actually enjoyed quite this, let's say it was a couple of months. And it was very good healing process for not my professional life, my personal life. So it was a good point. Then after that, I came back. And then 2 months later, I broke it again in the same place. Second time was not that fun, yeah. And right after that, I had an accident, biking, stupid one, and I broke my wrist, destroyed completely. So that was 2 years of a lot of hard
And
it's in our moment. Yeah.
How did you? 2 years is a long time to go through injury and pain and rehab and to take time off and not perform and come back. How you mentioned, being mentally strong. How do you get through and maintain and stay strong and positive and get through that?
Well, a lot of the times, of course, you need help from people. Many of the times, yeah, you are able to reach to a certain point, and then there you will find a strong wall that, of course, you can break it alone. But I don't know. I find quite a good advice to be open for help, and I mean, from physiotherapist till great talkings with people. Did really help me out. Otherwise sometimes, I don't know, it's the same. If you try to train yourself and at a certain point you're like, you need someone in front that for one moment it's just like, come on, just go. You just need this small impulse to keep on going. So for me, it was really important to have my close group of people plus physiotherapist close to me when I was needing those small impulses. Yeah.
And you have to clearly, as a dancer, work extraordinarily hard. It's a long, well, not that long actually. It can be short, but it is a lot of long days and long nights. How do you stay motivated? And what sort of keeps you going?
I mean, I feel quite lucky to be the place that I am in the company because we have an incredibly, the diversity of repertoire that we have here is enormous. We go from the most classical pieces till working recently with Hoffish actor.
I love him.
We just premiered. It was 2nd of June. Tomorrow we have a show from him again, from Hoffish.
What are you showing tomorrow, out of interest?
He actually created for us, which is
wow,
quite a big thing. Yeah, he created something for us that we work for. We started in December, January. Then he's. I don't know if you know him a little bit, but he's incredibly busy with schedule and stuff like that. So he was
super busy
for 1 week, then off for another week, then coming again after 4 months. So anyway, huge, great experience to work with him. So yeah, we go from Vallejo till Swan Lake, till Forsythe, till Hoffish, till Killian, Inger. I don't know, like we touch a lot of things.
Yeah,
and that's one thing keeps you inspired. Of course, you don't get bored. Mm-hmm. But I think that the most, strongest motivation you need to find in yourself. Through enjoying those processes. It's just about letting everything that you know out and letting new information in. And of course, without forgetting the old one, but you cannot go with any. I find if you go to new creation or you go to work with someone else in a new piece, a new process, new or resetting a ballet, you need to be in a white zone in your brain that you can add colors into it. You cannot use the same colors as before. Yeah. And I think it's not always easy to find this white paper again to color it. But if you try to find this every time you initiate a new process, then I think you're good to go. Yeah, to not get too bored or lose inspiration, which is quite easy as well in this job. Yeah.
I read a quote from Aaron Watkins, the artistic director, and on the company's Facebook page, actually, which says that the company is breaking down the borders that traditionally exist between classical and contemporary dance and redefining dance as a culmination of both, which I thought was a wonderful statement. And you mentioned there this incredible repertoire and the opportunities as an artist you get to experience. Where do you feel most comfortable within that spectrum of repertoire between purely classical on one end and the Hofesh on the other?
I mean, I really enjoyed both. If I will have to not choose, because I will not choose one or the other.
No.
I think I will feel more. I will feel more comfortable in the, let's say, modern side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I enjoy to do Basilio, Romeo, all this kind of classical work, which I think is very important. Once you can do it, you are in a shape to do it, in a condition to do it, and you have to go through that. Yeah. But I think the sentence that Aaron said is just it is totally right. I mean, you can believe that a dancer can go from doing Hoffish one night and now we go Sanders Wells and do In the Middle, and then after that you go to do Prince Siegfried. It's wonderful. Of course, it is hard. Mentally and physically, sometimes it is very, very hard physically. I mean, the anatomy of I will not difference between modern and classical dance. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is the difference in between, but I don't know, from Hoffish work till Kilian till then suddenly go to White Tides and Prince Siegfried's. Is very different anatomically talking. So muscles that you need for something, sometimes you're kind of grounded in the floor and your thighs are like that huge, which you don't need that for a classical ballet. So it's quite an experience sometimes as well as for him as a director, you need to be able to keep your dancers, of course, motivated, which he does by doing that, but as well in a healthy place physically. Your principal dancer, I mean, not principal dancers, I mean, everybody. Because in this company, which I find great as well. Of course, we have a lot of ranks and it's a classical structure company, let's call it like that. But you have choices. I've been here when I was 21 years old doing my first year, second year doing theme and variations, doing a lot of principal roles, rubies and things like that. So if I would not have those choices, I mean, those opportunities to do this, probably I would not be with that background at the moment, yeah? So he's quite letting people try, fail. Yeah, it's quite a good vision for a company.
Absolutely.
For a group, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a couple of final questions. With that amazing repertoire, do you have a favourite role that you love to dance over and over and over again, or something that you would really still love to tackle that you haven't yet had the opportunity to do so?
One of my favorite roles, I'll say, will be Romeo, which I did two different productions of it.
What do you love about that?
I love the interpretation of the character. I love it's a journey. You go from having quite an innocent insight till just being, I don't know, in no time. I mean, for us it's 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. But as well in the history, it happened quite fast. Yeah,
yes, intense.
Very intense things that happen to someone in life in quite a big amount of time. It just happened quite quickly, and then you end up being a different person. So the spectrum of characters inside the same character, I really like it there. Plus, I really enjoy the music. For me, one of the most important things is music. I mean, there is of course the Prokofiev version. There is as well a prologue from Tchaikovsky. but I find the music is just extraordinary. Just I really think you can just hear the music and it will tell you a story exactly. So
it's amazing.
And it's not so many times happening that way. I mean, I find the music it's very important for our art form. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I love to ask at the end, and particularly being a male ballet dancer as well, and a role model for many young boys or men out there, given your incredible career, and you seem very happy with the company, you've been there a long time, what advice would you give to other aspiring young male dancers who would love to be able to have a career that you have? Do you have any words of advice that you would pass on?
That's such a responsibility.
Or maybe words of wisdom that you live by that you think are helpful.
I mean, I think it's very important to set a goal for yourself in terms of short, medium, long distance. And then something it really works for me. I don't do it in a how we say. I don't precisely what I want to say. Basically, I just draw a circle. And I say, okay, everything inside my circle, I can do that. Everything outside my circle, I cannot do it for the moment. So I basically concentrate on what I can do on my circle at the time that I'm in. And slowly, of course, your circle will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think this is quite important approach for things. You need to be ambitious, but not too much. You always need to really measure your balances somehow. I'm not someone that I did really, and I'm quite impulsive, as I told you in the beginning. So it's finding those two sides between that and the passion, the craziness of letting yourself go in interpreting your dancing, your characters, your whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Well, I think that's really really interesting advice, and I have to say I've never heard anyone describe this sort of circle of which you can influence or be responsible for or have.
I actually heard it from I didn't invent this this sort of thing. I heard it from a chef, and he was saying that basically what he does is he actually does it, I think, and then he draws a circle, and then there is always, they say, yeah, you can do a lot in this world, and but if everybody in this in the life will just focus on his own circle. And okay, what I can do is it goes till here. I cannot do more because I don't have the possibilities, or I don't have the energy to do it. But if everybody will be concerned about his own circle and make sure that everything on his own circle is placed at the right place, it's gonna be a totally different thing. So it is quite a collective thing. I mean, it's quite an individual thing, but as well applies to. And don't forget, we are in my case, we work in a company.
Yeah.
So we are 65 dancers, more or less. Sometimes some years it's more or less. And you need to drive those personalities together with the same goal. And this is not easy. So if each of us, we just take care of our circle and take care of the other one circle, then I think you can do a lot of great things. Yeah.
And in that, that's quite a sizable company, and you're a principal dancer, and as you're taking care of your circle and those within your circle as well, how do you, on a sort of regular or day-to-day basis, take care of the younger dancers who are coming through the ranks and starting their journey? Do you get to interact with them as you?
Yeah, I mean, in sense of interacting personally, we interact. There is no, we don't have so much this sort of hierarchy in the sense of they will talk to me different way. I will hate it. No, no way. But anyway, it's not our company culture. It's not. It doesn't go this way. So the only thing I can do is just do my job as best as I can, and then if you're smart enough, you can just take as much as you can from that. And the other way around. You cannot believe how much I learned from younger people who have this willpower, which sometimes you can lose, or everybody can lose all these things. So I think it's so important to just feed each other. And I arrived here to be a principal dancer by being many years and performing and doing and working. So we don't have as well this sort of thing that I don't know, a young guy with 20 years old doing one principal role will become principal dancer. I think Aaron's philosophy of principal dancer is it contains quite a big perspective. It's not just happening from one day to the other. So I think we really learn from each other here.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful company, and I can't wait to see you perform.
We have as well our bad things, but
well, I'm happy to discuss those if you got the time.
It's just like everywhere else, there is, but of course the balance is very, very positive.
Yeah. There is no company or family or organization in the world that's perfect.
No,
I'm sure.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, there are the good and the not so good, and I think it's part of life now, isn't it? That's just the way it is. Well, I hope to see you in London soon. I will definitely be at the premiere, the performance. I think it's on the 21st of June. You're here until the 23rd of June. So those who are listening and want to learn some more, just check out the Semperoper Ballet's website and social media as well. And you can grab tickets at saddlerswells.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to subscribe. We've got some incredible interviews coming up with principal ballerinas and renowned choreographers. We love dance and ballet, and we hope you'll love us. Join us on Facebook and Twitter.